wanted to give a quick demo on how Datadog works. So I'll just show how I used it to fix this bug. So the first thing is I knew that the bug was in this event receiver, so I added some debug logging in here, including this Slack event receiver notice with some extra information. So first thing we'll do is I had already triggered the action on Slack, and I know that happened, so let's go find it by looking for this log message. Logs. And then we can just search. The logs kind of come up twice, once in Apache and once based on a file, so we'll ignore the Apache ones. We see it comes up a few times. We can click on one of these and we can see that this extra data I added here, like this, shows up here in the structured data, so that's helpful. So I was looking for one where I posted about the seminar, propose agenda. Great. I think, yeah, let's use that one, propose agenda. I think that's the one that was broken. Yeah. So now we have this log message. We know that it came from this event that is not behaving how we want. We can go to trace, and then we can click view trace. Oh, actually this is the one that worked after I fixed it, so let's look a little bit earlier. Not that it really matters, but okay, let's look at this one. Yeah, so we can look at the trace. We can see it's just executing a bunch of database queries, so that's fine. I noticed this one's the wrong one because it was calling out the Slack, so it actually worked. Okay, so now we have the trace. We have this post event with this ID. And now it's really helpful. I mean, we can look at a bunch of stuff if we want, like all the calls and everything, but what we can look at here is all the logs that happened just for this request. So I can pop these out. And now we see, like, we have the Slack event receiver, which is what we originally were looking at with this data, propose agenda, but we also have a bunch of other context that we've saved. And I noticed that the issue was that when it was triggering, there's no proposals that it was trying to trigger, so it didn't find any filtered proposals that worked for this agenda item, even though it should have. And I added some logging in the create pre-filtered proposals to see what are all the proposals it goes through. And I can see, like, it starts with this proposed seminar one, and we're looking for proposed agenda. So these are the ones it tests. It tests proposed seminar, ping, core group vote, and test cross post to GitHub. So it should have proposed agenda in here, but it doesn't. So for some reason it's not serializing the query sets, but for some reason the query that happened didn't give the right responses. So now we can actually go back to our trace, and we can look at all of the database queries, and we can try to find maybe the one that should have given this response but didn't. So let's see. We're looking for policies, so we're selecting, like, let's look at this one. Select policy engine. There's 2 here. There's actually quite a few, but let's just select one of them. And here we can see part of the query. So it's looking for things in a certain community that's active, that has the kind of trigger in this case, and where the action types has a certain name. And so that's joined on that policy action type. So I noticed, now going to the database, if I was looking at our policies, there's two that we want: propose agenda, which was not working, and then propose seminar, which was working. And they're both active, and they both are triggers. But so why would it not be filtered? Well, it must be this last part then, the action types. So I went to look at the action types, and I found out that this one, propose agenda, I just added this row, did not have an action type. So the other one did, and it was action type 2. This one just was missing. And this might have been when I was trying to delete some of the policies that I thought were like temporary, because that was causing that bug. Then I went in the database and deleted some of these rows, and maybe I deleted extra than I should have. So I think I probably caused this bug by deleting one of these rows. But now that it's back, the bug seems resolved with this. So anyway, that's how I used Datadog to debug this, adding logging, looking at the span, looking at the logs, and the SQL queries, in case that's helpful for anyone else in the future.